Hi, my name is Clifford and I am the MD of Space to Trade. And as per my last video, I explained that if you run your commercialisation remotely, so using an agency model, so that's defined as something where you have little to no centre visits. By applying this on the ground, boots on the ground model, you can add 30% to your revenue. This is what we've achieved time and time again, so I can promise you that this stuff works. So, the first step to any good business is have a plan. Now, for some this might seem a little grandiose for this type of business. However, I can assure you that a plan of action is not only good practice, but critical if you want to take your business in a new direction. So step one, know your mix. So print off the documents that are coming up on screen through the link, and this will make more sense because as big as these are, I know you can't see them. So using the first sheet, which is the gap analysis template, you list out all the uses you want and don't want. It's that simple. But if you really want to get this right, you first need to break your centre into categories such as grab and go, gold, jewellery, homewares, etc. on a separate piece of paper and mark out the volume of use of each thing. So if you have 3 shops that do homeware, that's 3. And if you really want to get this right and sharpen it up, go out to your high street and undertake the same exercise. From here, put it together, and this will start to highlight where you have specific gaps in the offer, not just within your centre, but within the town. Note these down and then highlight the areas that are deficient in use, and this becomes part of the base strategy within these lists. There'll be other things that you think will work, mark them out, its categories, the type of use, how important this is to you to get in, site restrictions, heights, smoke curtains, whatever it may be, and then this will determine the core of your plan. This becomes the foundation of your plan. Now, using this second template, which is the strategy document, mark out your planned use for each space. Some might be already occupied. So, for example, you might have budgeted revenue for mobile phones, for example. All you have to do is mark down the budgeted revenue and the actual revenue and make sure they match. Now, with the other spaces, add in what you want to bring in using the plan that you've just put together, and then add a targeted sum, which is a rent based on what your centre currently generates. And look at the past 12 months, and then apply a percentage, I would say around 30%. Across the board, so overall. So if you're doing 100 grand at the moment and you're running this remotely, I would be aiming for 130 grand. And look at how you do this. So don't necessarily look at simply chipping rents and pushing rents upward. Think about occupancy. This is what's key. So start to look at spaces where you're generating very little occupancy, but maybe charging the same rates everywhere else. Look at lowering that rate. So if it's 300, for example, lower your rate to 175, 200 and aim for a higher level occupancy. It will put more money in the bank. Also, you need to decide where you're going to find these particular uses. So you need to mark it down on a sheet, which goes on here, and then go out and make it happen. And this is where the boots on the ground stuff really works. Then using your local knowledge, you'll know where this stuff is. Then finally at the bottom, calculate your total revenue you project, and your job's done. To keep this thing live and working every 6 to 12 months, update your gap analysis. That shouldn't change a great deal unless you have new retailers come to the scheme or significant development within the local area. And then review this plan on a weekly basis. Now, this only takes 5 minutes and you only adjust it according to what's happening within your scheme. Now, I appreciate that this is probably quite a lot to take on board until you've got the sheets of paper in front of you. So take a moment, download the documents, and if you have any questions, email me directly, paul.clifford@spacetotrade.co.uk, and I'll be more than happy to give you a hand. The next video will be a little bit more about sourcing local retail that adds value. This is the stuff where you have gaps that you struggle to find, and most do, and there is a technique to doing just this. So get the plan right, and then let's move to stage 2. Best of luck.